Let's get it on, boys. About that time.
Looking, he's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown, and the Gators have won.
Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. He couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold it to get too excited. He's been chilling all day long, and of course it's showtime, and now he wants to get all rambunctious. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you guys already saw him on the live stream on Saturday. There he is, live and well. Old Beckett Tiger. Look at the man.
Already pissed off. He didn't like the string.
He's got the onesie on. He's vibing, boys.
He's rocking the high tree.
Come get your son, babe. He's not. I think he's hungry, to be honest with you. I think homeboy's a little ready to rock and roll. So he's not feeling it. Boys and girls, I'll be right back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, apparently, welcome back to another High Top Sports episode. Happy Wednesday. My goodness, we have got one hell of a show for you. Gosh, what a weekend of college football. Alabama can't hold their own. Clemson can't hold their own. Oh, my. And the chat is already getting crazy.
Definitely Holly's fault.
Love in there. Yeah, for sure. we got some Audra love in there. She's already seeing the grandkid. She's getting wild. Shelton, we just got our look. The first couple times that you and I did this show, if we went back and we looked at it, and we have before, we did this in a couple of anniversaries of ours, right? We went back and we looked at the first couple of times that you and I got on camera, we got on the microphone, and we just said, you know what we're going to do? It's going to be idiots. And my gosh, we were idiots.
Still are.
Look, yeah, oh, for sure. But look, this was Beckett Tiger's big moment. Look.
That is true. First time for everything, boys. He did steal the show.
He's going to look back at this and be like, I was an idiot. Horrible timing.
He was vibing. I think he's getting a little hungry. So it is what it is. But the support from everybody's been absolutely incredible. You guys have been great. I feel like we've been MIA for a little bit, but it's good to get back in the groove. I had to take a little power nap before I got on here because it's been a long couple of days, but a good long. So it's been fun. You guys, I've seen your messages when I can. So again, I appreciate the love and support. Beckett Tiger feels it. We feel it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. But let's get into it. Let's talk some football, boys and girls. The Gators are back. I was fired up this weekend. Not saying Beckett had anything to do with it. A little bit of luck, but I'm not saying he didn't either. We'll dive into Florida versus South Carolina. Can't wait to slam Spencer Rattler. Recruiting's heating up a little bit. We got some big visits this weekend. Not official, but just visits in general. Bama goes down against LSU, which makes the Florida situation not look as bad, and we'll talk about that as well too. Number crunch, that's old. Hot takes, and then of course we'll do pick'ems. I had a bomb week last week. Felt pretty good about that. So pretty jazzed up. Pretty pumped about that. So we're gonna go in all that stuff. But let's say hey to the chat. I know you were kind of saying what's going on to everybody, but let's say hey. Thank you guys for stopping by. We got a busy show already. I love it. Brandon Curry, you guys going to be at the South Carolina game? No. Unfortunately, I've got the little one. So I will be streaming live. Yeah, I will be streaming live with little man and you family and co. So obviously I didn't stream this past Saturday. And people messaging me like, yo, you going live? Like, a little busy. Look caught up.
A little tied up.
A little caught up.
I'm not sure what the hospital Wi-Fi allows for streaming purposes, but yeah.
So fly, Coach 1X, what's going on, man? Landon, what's going on, man? Good evening, Bubba. Chris Sorley. What's up, big dog? How you doing, man? He says, does the newly appointed president for UF love football? LOL, a lot of students down here did not like the hire. We'll get into I saw that. I kind of been a little MIA, obviously, but I did see that. Now Sheldon has to wait 4 to 6 weeks. B-Bean, wow. Reaver, what's going on, man? Todd Freeman, let's go. Mr. Nobody, how you doing, big dog? Brandon, Jordan Dargan, buddy.
Zach Driggers says, I'm scaring him. It's me.
It's 100% you. He's been fine this entire time. Litterus, Fish Reef, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Travis, how you doing, big dog? Dennis, Zach, Mama, Adrian, how we doing, boys? Johnny, Garrett Bula.
He's crying because of Holly.
Cody, yeah. So shout out to Cody. He got him the beanie. It fits like a glove. It's honestly only one of the few beanies that does fit him pretty well. Most of them don't fit that well. So that was good to see. Josh, Rob S., how you guys doing, boys? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Dominic, how you doing, big dog? He lost this weekend in fantasy football. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah. I don't think I didn't.
I thought he's been suspectively quiet. Wow.
Yeah. Don't think I didn't see that, big boys. I love it. All right, boys and girls, let's get into it. Let's dive into the show. Obviously, Florida versus South Carolina this week, which is going to be another big one for us. It's at home. It's our last home game. It's been a great season for home games, in my opinion. It's been fun. It's been fun to go to the few that we went to go to. This is going to be a big game to be able to lay down Spencer Rattler. I think South Carolina is a good team. I think we can beat them, but I do think they're a good team. Now, there's a few things out. Jaquavion Frazier, he is out. He had a big game last week, 50 yards, a touchdown. He was my dark knight, if you don't recall, for this year to have a breakout season. Didn't really have a breakout season, but that was a good sign of what we saw against Texas A&M with Shorter being out. Shorter will walk for senior day, but I'm not quite sure if he's going to play yet. So Caleb Douglas is looking, he's getting the bump on the depth chart. We saw him with what's his name? Kitna against the Eastern Washington. Did a great job there. So I'm not too concerned with these guys stepping up. I'm actually excited to see them step up. Where we kind of, what I loved in the Texas A&M game, we didn't really talk about it, you and I, we didn't have a show on Sunday, is the adjustments that were made at halftime. So that was great to see, and it's looking like guys are starting to buy in. I know that Brenton Cox had a lot of people that decision had people questioning and a little concerned. I think the people like myself who've been bought into the Billy culture and bought into the process loved it, and we're expecting something like this to happen. In what shape or form, we didn't know, but we expected it, anticipated it, and loved it. And what we saw on Saturday is what we were waiting for and expecting to happen. So it was good to see that nobody had anything to say. I mean, a lot of Facebook pages, a lot of groups, there wasn't much negativity. Nobody could really say anything. Now, Texas A&M did have a lot of people out. Doesn't really matter. You got to go out there and play with what you're given. So, again, huge for us. But it's going to be a tough one, I think, against South Carolina. South Carolina has some big wins under their belt. Some days, they're honestly, they remind me of us. Some days it looks like they got it, and they've got what it takes. And then some days it's like, where did you guys go? What happened? And go ahead.
No, so right now, according to ESPN, you guys are scheduled to win that game by 70%. However, it feels like you guys are more athletically inclined. Like if you can get your quarterback in the mode that he was, I mean, my gosh, if you're in the Discord, if you're on this channel at any point in time, people have been saying, get Anthony Richardson the ball with his legs.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's the fact that like Texas A&M just decided that they don't know how to defend that, or maybe Billy made some adjustments. But it felt like there was an adjustment from game to game in doing what maybe Florida's strength is. And the coach finally said, okay, we're going to go with this. But I mean, like it looked good. It looked good. I was impressed by what they did. They were dominant from the beginning to the half. They came out from the half, and then they went right back at it, and they just didn't slow down. The game never felt out of position.
I mean, they shut the Aggies out. They shut them out in the second half. And another thing is, too, it felt like things finally kind of set in. So Billy's been working on, developing his process and having guys buy into him and trust him. And with the changes that happened with Brenton Cox, it felt like, and it was only on the defensive side of things, but it kind of just, again, there's a lot of talk that he was a cancer. And it seems like that cancer, when it went away, things kind of just fell into motion. Ricky Pearsall was more involved, 3 catches for 65 yards, 3 rushes for 34 yards. Anthony had 7 carries for 78 yards. Trevor had 17 carries for 80 yards, and Montreal had 22 for 100 yards. So any which way we were doing it, we were moving it. You know what I'm saying? And again, Jaquavion Frazier's with 4 catches for 50 yards and a tutty. Caleb Douglas even had 3 catches, and he wasn't even starting. So guys are starting to get into motion, and these are not necessarily Billy's guys, but they're the younger guys where they've been able to. Like, they're not really on the way out. They don't have that senior that ego about them. So I love seeing it. Trevor just looks better and better each and every day. My goodness, we should be excited for Florida football to have that kid. It's with week in and week out, he is showing progression, and I love watching him play because it's not like, hey, the O-line is doing a phenomenal job, yes, but he is just making moves. He is making the reading the correct routes, just putting people on his on their backs, breaking their ankles. The kid looks good. It looks really, really good, and I love seeing it.
To that point, so Montrell Johnson right now has 92 carries for 549 yards. He's averaging 6 per carry. The second highest on the team is Richardson, but that's been because he broke off these 85-yard runs, these 80-yard runs, 65 yards. But I mean, the next person on your rushing statistics is Trevor. He's got 81 carries, so essentially 20 less, and he's averaging 5.8 with 4 touchdowns. So your leading rusher is at 6 yards per carry. Your second leading rusher is 5.8. Your leading rusher has 8 touchdowns. Your second leading has 4. That looks like balance to me.
Sure.
That sounds like balance to me. And then you sprinkle in that quarterback that may or might not be able to throw that 80-yard run, 60-yard run in there.
I think what also is happening too, I saw a little bit of the press conference. Montrell basically kind of gave a little wink to Anthony, was like, hey, you're coming back next year, right? Because look, and we've been saying this too, is if we can get some things moving, we see the class that's coming in, and I believe that some of those guys coming into the class are going to make an immediate impact right away. And look, there's no reason why you can't go get it done. I know I'm speaking a little ahead of myself. I get it, and I can get a little flack for this, but that's what's great about college football is it's year to year. It changes so much. The scheme of things change so much. I mean, last year was a rebuild year for Bama, and look what happened this year. What is it? Just a double rebuild? You know what I mean? Georgia's going to be in a weird state next year, losing Stetson Bennett. I mean, Georgia's Georgia, so they're going to be like that new Bama in a sense where they've got guys coming in and they're not going to lose a lot, but they're going to be more beatable, and they were beatable this year, right? I think Tennessee showed their colors. Rocky Top showed their colors last Saturday. I've been preaching it for a couple days now. Glad to know that I was right. I didn't get to talk much about it, but I saved the receipts, baby. I didn't hear shit from nobody. All y'all Tennessee fans in the chat, where you at? You're nowhere to be found. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. I saved the receipts. So
let me check. Hold on. Let me check the chat.
You're not gonna find anything. It's like trying to find a fan in a Miami game. There's nothing there. It's empty. They're gone.
Oh, speaking of Miami.
Well, yeah.
Speaking of Miami, since apparently my live video that a couple of people who were on this channel,
they were there.
They were there. I saw you guys. Shelton and I cannot figure out what I did something wrong. I'm just going to call it out. I did something wrong. I'm not going to blame it on YouTube.
It's like it never existed. It's
the most amazing thing ever. But I broke down. My gosh, I broke it down, and people were saucy. People were into it. Oh my goodness, Tennessee.
Nope. There's no Tennessee fans in here, but we'll get into that too. Obviously, the playoff. I want to talk about the playoffs in a little bit and kind of how that's going to look out, how that's going to measure out. Could 3 SEC teams make it into the championship now, based on what's going on? How does that work out? It's going to be fun to talk about here in a minute. But look, I'm excited for this weekend. Do we have a spread on this weekend? I know you got the pick'ems ready to rock. Do you have that queued up so we can see what's going on and we can talk about that for a quick second? I don't want to know your pick. I just want to know if Florida, from my opinion, Florida should be favored. But if I had to guess, it's a touchdown. Okay.
By 8. Yeah, by 8.
Okay. That seems reasonable. Look, but if you're South Carolina, this is a big game for you. And this is gonna be a big game for us. It's gonna make us bowl eligible and kind of set the tone. So look, I would like to win the next 3. I think Texas A&M at the beginning of the year, I picked us to lose this game. So now I also picked us to win a few games that we didn't win. But look, and I was saying this before it happened, and now look where we're at. I said, hey, the 3 losses that we have, right, are to 3 top 10 teams. LSU, who is now possibly going to be in a college football playoff situation. Hold on. Tennessee, who is possibly going to be in a college football playoff. And Georgia, who more than likely will be in a college football playoff. And then obviously Kentucky, right? I've been saying this for a long time. Now, the other part of it is like, well, how can LSU be this good after their first year? People were still kind of using that comparison. Look, there's a talent gap there. It wasn't like Ed Orgeron just left the place flooded with nonsense. It wasn't like he just wasn't doing. It wasn't a Dan Mullen situation.
Exactly the opposite.
And look, Brian Kelly.
Burrow left. All these guys like Jamar Chase. Like think about any NFL wide receiver that went to LSU. In the last, I don't know, 2 years, there is just a countless number. And running backs, their entire offense left. Their offensive coordinator left. Like, you couldn't have found a worse opportunity for like one team to transition from good to bad. But
now they're starting to come back up. I mean, this is their swing up. I mean, they still were recruiting. It wasn't like I wasn't doing anything. Look, and credit to Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's doing a great job. Fact of the matter is, and the guy knows how to coach. I mean, it wasn't like he was just a nobody coming in. He was a big hire for LSU. And so again, a lot of people are saying, why didn't Florida go after him? I don't care about the success for LSU this year. I still wouldn't want Brian Kelly. Now, could I eat my words in a few years? Yeah, could I eat my words in a few years? Brian Kelly gets a few natties and we're still sitting here talking about the process? Possibly. But I don't think so. I'd rather build something of that lasts for the long haul than again, a lightning in the bottle situation. And I feel like LSU might be that again. They might be another version of Tennessee. And again, this is me being like a hater or just talking smack to talk smack. I'm just from what I'm looking at. Real quick, we have some super chats here from Ben Smith. Says, congratulations on the baby. Good to see the defense finally showed out. You know what they say, chickens gator bait. Let's go Gators. Yes, they did a great job. I mean, to keep Texas A&M shut out Saturday was phenomenal. I loved seeing that. I love the adjustment. This is what I always talk about. Week in and week out, I just want to see something new. I want to see that we're getting better. And this was the first week that I felt by quarter, we got better. And again, to me, I think I credit to Billy in a sense of you got rid of the cancer in the locker room. People are bought in now. And the train looks like it might have left the station, boys. It looks like things could start heating up here. Look, FSU looked really good this weekend too. That game went from being kind of like a laughing stock of like which team's going to suck worse to where it's going to come down to like back in the day. It's like who's going to ruin whose season, who's going to get the last laugh, because look, both teams are more likely going to find themselves in a bowl game, because you guys are 6-3. Or are you 5-4 too?
Yep. Yeah.
6-3.
No, we're officially bowl eligible.
So you're already there. So I'm more than likely, I think, Florida beats Vandy, we're in there too. But the level of bowl is going to matter, right? And again, who just has the best record at the end of the year? Or whoever just holds the Florida crown, because you guys beat Miami, and if we beat you guys, then obviously it's Miami doesn't even exist anymore. So it's that game just became a lot more important, which I love. I feel like for the last few years it's been a little boring, but this year it reminds us back in the old days where it's like it's going to be a dicey one. Hands are going to be thrown.
Yeah,
Steve might go MIA for a little bit, or I might go MIA.
So last year. Yeah, or even. But last year it was like both teams were 5 and whatever going into the game, and unfortunately, whoever won was going to a bowl. That was how bad it was.
Yes.
And Florida won. They beat FSU, so they went to a bowl game. But it's different this year. Like, there's a different pulse. FSU feels like they're good. They have a good quarterback. They have good talent. They have a great running game, which we just showed against Miami. I just want to point this out real fast. We beat a team 45-3 and only threw the ball 19 times.
You guys did well.
So
Steve's on a high. You got to be careful, boy. Steve's.
No, I'm not. No, because I'm worried about Syracuse. I know that sounds dumb, but like for Florida, like that game is going to matter to us for both reasons. We're both going to be bowl eligible. It's just a pride thing. It's a Friday game. It's the day after Thanksgiving. There's just going to be a lot of emotions going with that. And both teams, their trajectory right now is up. both teams' trajectory is up. Billy is doing a great job at Florida. He didn't recruit any of these damn kids, and he's doing what he can do with what he has. He's getting rid of some cancers in the locker room, which is going to have a larger impact on what the output was for the kid on the field. Trust me, that stuff matters. Norvell had to do the same thing when he got to Florida State. He had to get rid of some of the cancers in the locker room that Willie left. And you look at it, after one game for you guys, or after 2 years for us, and you start to realize you get the guys who are bought in, and they play their asses off to these coaches. They play their asses off to these coaches. And look, I'm happily looking forward to the Florida State game.
It's gonna be a great time.
Not because I think that Florida State's going to win, because I think on a positive trajectory, and I'm happy to see us both getting better.
Yep, and I think there's going to be some honor, and there's going to be a little bit of ego and shit talking, but that's what makes those games. Like you as a fan, the rolling teams over. I mean, it's fun every now and then, but like you like a good game. But real quick though, huge shout out to the man Rob S for a $50 super chat. Incredible, dude. Like, thank you so much for the love and support, man. I appreciate it.
Not to be outdone. My gosh.
And hold the beer. Cody Bullgator says diapers for BT and go Gators. Wow, you guys are incredible. Cody, you've been more than incredible, dude. Like this, real quick, shout out to Cody Sprague. Cody Sprague he's been a member for a very long time now. Met him at one of the Gator games. I can't remember which one it is. We got him some shirts because the shirt that he got was messed up. But he's just been great this entire time. We know him with his son playing football, Bubs, and it's just we have a little family here, and it's really cool. And Cody's been nothing but supportive. And I when I had the kid, I was like, can somebody go pick up his jersey for me that they got me, that the chat got me, his number 1 jersey. I wanted to have it in the room, but we ended up just getting the onesie instead. But Cody, I appreciate you, man. You're absolutely incredible, dude, and I appreciate your love and support for this channel this entire time. I can't thank you enough, man. It means a lot. I've been very emotional lately, so I can't get too much further because I'm going to start crying. It's been a hell of a week, boys. Hell of a week becoming a dad. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying really quick. I saw you. We're all chit chatting. You guys are. Let's see here. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate it, man. Rob Sale.
Muddy Water says. Still sucks that Tennessee, LSU, FSU, and Georgia will have made the playoffs before Florida. Okay.
So Tennessee hasn't made it yet, but I'm assuming he's assuming. But yes, it is rough that Florida has not even had an opportunity to make the playoffs yet. It does sting. It does. Look, we've been irrelevant for a while. Like it's hard to say that, but it's facts. It's factual.
Buddy, one thing I will say, like for FSU got the first. Okay, so we won the national championship in 2013, and then there was the playoff system in 2014, and we lost that awful game to Oregon, and then Oregon got the crap kicked out of them. To me, the playoff didn't exist then, but I see what you mean. Sure. FSU actually made the first playoff, but to me it was ugly. Nah.
Real quick, so let's talk about recruiting news for a little bit. So you guys are talking about in the chat too with Hugh Hathcock, where he tweeted out tomorrow's gonna be a good day for Gators. Could it mean for recruiting? I don't know, because I know that he does a little bit of like they're not connected with the collective. They're like they coexist. It's a bigger donation, so technically they can't be that involved with recruiting. If it's my understanding, I could be wrong here, but he could be getting a little bit of Ruiz in him, where he's trying to get more involved. And what could it mean? And this is where I wanted to talk about recruiting heating up, because high school football's over. Showtime now. I talked with Papa Stokes today. Marcus is already talking to multiple, basically campaign or social media managers to help him with that situation. So these kids are starting to get in the move, starting to get in the groove of things. It's starting now. So we're going to probably see more and more kids start committing. Now, signing day is just less than a month away, or it's actually a little bit farther than a month away. So, but I expect those things to start picking up very quickly, with guys starting to drop the little juice here to get all of the momentum in the world for that signing day. Speaking of, we've got a big visit this weekend. 5-star Desmond Ricks, who we've been having eyes on. Right now, it's looking like an LSU land. 5-star cornerback, Desmond Ricks.
Wasn't he the recruit that left us in July?
Yes, yeah, he broke up with you guys.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure they're the same guy.
So he's visiting this weekend, and then he'll also have his official visit in December 2nd. What's cool is my little brother, he's actually visiting this weekend, an unofficial visit, quarterback. So he'll be on the field and all that stuff. He got invited to go. It's not an official visit. He's a freshman, but cool to see that he's able to go to that game as well too. So big stuff there. A lot of 2024. We're starting to transition into 2024 too now, boys. This is where we're in that line where now, before I would say it doesn't matter, right? But now we're starting to get into that too. And Billy has been grinding that 2024 class. Nothing committed verbally yet, but a lot of people are just loving what's going on with the energy. Again, I think this class, how it ends up, is going to impact that class, in my opinion. We'll see. But big stuff there. The number one JUCO interior offensive lineman, it has been a consistent communication with Rob Sale as well too. So that's good to see. I know we pulled someone from JUCO just this last year, and you pulled some studs out of there. So
Sheldon, I have some breaking news. I want to put this out there real fast for you.
What happened?
Okay, so like I'm a graceful winner when it comes to like beating, let's say, Miami. But every once in a blue moon, I like to dive into the belly of the beast to hear how they're dealing with a loss. I don't know. It hurts. So sometimes their loss is almost as important as my victory. So I dove into the On3 Miami Hurricane message board. And I may or may not have paid extra money to see what they're talking about. I just want to put it out there. I want to point it out there. I know I never said a word. I'm just back there. I'm just reading. But I want to point it out there that there are multiple threads on that website that think that Marcus Stokes is a potential quarterback commit for the University of Miami. They are so desperate right now. Let me move my hands. This is under the microphone. Let me move my hands.
They have Rashada.
They are so desperate that they think that they're getting
everyone.
Marcus and because Rue has money. And I'm telling you, like there are multiple threads on how it's going to be a freshman onboarding of who's gonna play, whether it's Rashada or Marcus Stokes, and it's one of the funniest things.
Marcus ain't going nowhere.
I just sit back and I read it, and I'm like, oh, should I tell him? But then I don't want to blow my cover, right? But if it gives you any idea how wild the Miami fans are right now on just, we need a quarterback. Every quarterback on the roster is horrible. Even if we throw the ball to a wide receiver, they can't catch it. Miami is in complete and utter disrepair.
Wow, they're struggling. They're very upset. But look, the number one interior offense lineman from JUCO, that would be another big pick, because obviously our class right now, it consists of Najee, Bryce Lovett, and Roger Kearney. We've talked about the lack of offensive linemen and needing more guys to come in, so that would be a big pull. And again, this is kind of, we see Bailey and the team utilizing other portals in a sense to build this team up and back to where they want it to be. Because look, I mean, right now our best player on the offensive side, in my opinion, is Osiris Torrance, who obviously was a transfer. And I think if you're an O lineman and you see the success that Torrance is having, how do you not want to come to Florida? It's mind blowing to me that we haven't been able to pull more because of just the success that the team is having from an offensive line perspective. I don't know how you don't see them like, yeah, I want to go play for that team, but we'll see. Hopefully things kind of start moving in the right direction. Sharif Denton has set his official visit. I know we had a little bit of a scare there for a bit where, is he going to go to Miami? What's going on? But he looks good. So again, a lot of good news. I think things are going to heat up over the next 3 to 4 or 5 weeks in recruiting. We got to just keep our ear down to the floor and be ready for anything. It's going to be, it should be and will be. I'm hoping a good November, a fun November. I hope November ends in tears of joy. And look, my November started off incredible, obviously, and I hope it stays all the way through and goes all the way through. And we rock and roll. So, let me see here. Are you in there? Are you in the thing now, Steve? What are you looking at?
So we have a topic coming up here about whether or not Bama
Are you prepared for that?
I thought about it already. I read about it, but I'm actually going to put some statistics behind it.
So obviously, I mean, so you talk about message boards. I don't know if you saw all the Bama message boards, but they were going absolutely berserk, calling for Saban's. I mean, fans are crazy. This is where the fanatic comes from. We've talked about it time, and it makes me kind of honestly a little more relaxed of how Florida fans are. When I saw that Bama fans were doing it, I was like, well, shit, you can't please any. It's inevitable now to please anybody. So, it's crazy to me that people are frustrated. It's frustrating. I'm sure as a Bama fan, you expect to win and you want to win. So I could see why you're upset. But is it the end of Bama? Have people? The question I've been seeing is like, have people? Is the end of Bama? Is people caught up? They finally caught up to Bama's talent? Are they no longer Bama than everybody else, and they get lucky? Is that where we're at, or is Bama just having a weird year, or is everybody just having a lightning in the bottle a year? Steve, I see the eyebrows kicking.
Dude, I don't know. Look, this is the first year of NIL, maybe the second year of NIL. And look,
well said.
What I think is,
hey, real quick, guys, we got 150 in the chat, and we just had a brand new baby on the stream, and we haven't broke the 100 likes yet. What's going on here, boys? Lock it in, like and subscribe. Let's rock and roll.
Come on,
let's rock and roll, boys.
Gosh.
Come on. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Hit mine.
Fight for FSU! Fight, baby, fight!
All right, go ahead.
All right. So look. So Bama was the king of college football for the longest time. Maybe they were doing NIL before NIL was legal. I don't know. Maybe a lot of colleges were. But let's be honest. Like, colleges right now are keeping up with Bama because they're able to do the same things that Bama has done under the radar. The NCAA has forgotten Alabama. They didn't care what Alabama was doing. How many kids, Henry Ruggs, how many of these kids were like taking pictures of themselves actually driving the cars that are like $60,000 cars? This went on forever. Nobody gave a hell because nobody wants to fight Nick Saban. But now that everybody can do it,
where's the advantage?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You're losing your advantage. And I think Nick Saban's going to have to make a real tough decision to find out whether or not he's the best recruiter in college football and whether or not they're going to deal these players. Are you going to deal with his bullshit? Are you going to deal with his bullshit? Like, you can go to, like, Ole Miss and be coached hard, but not have to listen to this dude in your ear because he's going to leverage you on money you can't get. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. Even Paul Feinbaum. Look, I despise that skinny-faced, fat-eared dude so much. I can barely stand to listen to him. But everybody in the world, for the most part, would think, because he's been such an Alabama homer, that he went to Alabama. Wrong-o. He's a graduate of the University of Tennessee. So for the last 15 years, he has dogged on his own alma mater because he knew Alabama would win. And he knew that his fan base came from Alabama people. He would do call-ins, and you get these random no-tooth women who would just go off on these tangents and but that's what made him his money. He was just a radio guy until ESPN picked him up. He got famous because of ESPN, but he's always been this guy who got Alabama fans riled up. You know, we're the best damn college. You know, we got the
wrap it up, Steve.
academics.
Wrap it up, Steve. Where are we at with this? So are they over?
Look, no, they're not over.
Okay.
But there is going to be a transition. He's 72 years old. He's now dealing with other colleges, especially in the SEC, that have the same money. Texas A&M is a bad example because they went completely down.
Winning. Yeah.
But other SEC schools have the same advantage, and he has to play them every year. I think this may be the part where you realize that he wasn't the best coach. He just had the best money, and nobody asked a question.
I disagree with that. I think Saban's a great coach. I think he's put the right people around him. I think it's a combination of the people that were around him are now spread out and doing their own thing, and it's attrition, right? He's going through his process, and you're going to have, you create so many great people and you create so many great coaches, they end up leaving, and you got to start over every year. Like, people don't recognize that as much as it's the players leaving, but it's the coaches that he keeps losing, that he has to keep refurbishing and going through. And look, I think him being able to hold talent is a big thing too, because the running back room, quarterback room has always just been endless. It's been stacked. I mean, you think about it, they had Tua, Hurts, and Mac all on one team. That's insane. If you look at them now, they're all in the NFL. So there's a lot of talent.
The running back room goes back to like Ingram to the Saints, and maybe even further back than that.
Yeah. So the running back room has always been stout. Their defense has always been stout. They've always created, absolute studs. Okay, some new members. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the family, boys and girls. But look, I think is it over? We made a video a few months back where we would do a What If Wednesday, and we talked about Saban retiring, and the thought process behind that was because of the NIL. Is he going to be able to transition and keep up? Because we felt that he's always controlled it to an extent because he's been in it for so long. He's been grandfathered in a sense, and he always had his hand in the cookie jar to be able to manipulate things to his favor. Well, like you were saying, when you open up that cookie jar for everybody, you take away his advantage now. Is he a great coach? Sure. But he was a great coach, and he always had it felt like the plug to the best players. And now those best players, if they don't like what they see, they're out. And an old Bama player came out and said, look, we've been preaching this from the beginning. Guys are not bought in with this NIL money. And it's going to be something very difficult for guys to navigate through. And somebody like a Saban who's old school is going to have a hard time. And that's why I came up with the video with Dion about how I expect him to get paid, because who's going to manage a situation like that better than anybody else is Dion. It's prime time. That guy understands the process, and he understands managing, in a sense, a prima donna. He was one. That's exactly who he was. If you're going to have prima donnas on your team, and you got to have somebody that knows that person in and out. And that's where these guys are going to be at an early age. You give an 18-year-old $2 million in a Lambo, you're in for a disaster. You're in for a real treat. Real quick, I want to get back to that, but TJ Lips, his congratulations on the baby. He went to Tennessee. Yeah, sure he did. I was waiting for you to come in here, Bubba. We got a few members though. Welcome to becoming a member, guys. I appreciate you guys. Let me see here. Who would I miss? Chris Smith says Saban is getting old. Ben Smith says he's the best college football in history. Yes, I agree. Let me see. Papa Stokes is in here. Papa Stokes, what's going on, big dog? He's on a pee break from the new Halloween movie. I love it. I love that he took a quick pee break really quick and hopped in here. Justin Go, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Jay Money says, go Gators. What's up, man? Appreciate it, Bob. Rob became a member. Thank you, Rob S. And he donated today, so thank you, Rob, for that. Appreciate it. And Luke also became a member. So you guys rock. Thank you guys for becoming members. I really do appreciate it. Steve appreciates it. So, well, look, is it the end of Bama? Is it the end of Bama being a favorite to be in the playoffs every year and to be one of the Final Fours? No. I don't think so. I think you're in a time where Tennessee has caught lightning in a bottle. Look, Georgia's Georgia. I'm not going to talk about Georgia. Georgia's Georgia. Tennessee has caught lightning in a bottle. LSU, I don't know yet. It's too soon to call. Too soon to call. Could just be kind of catching things at the right time. Could be Brian Kelly coming in and gonna give Saban some fits. I don't know. It's the
Ole Miss, same way.
Ole Miss, I think Lane Kiffin's starting to find his rhythm a little bit. I think that could be a little bit of, not lightning in the bottle, but a good transition year for them where they've got some older guys. But look, he doesn't recruit anyways. Lane Kiffin's got just a great, play calling, and he works in the portal. So Ole Miss could be finding their rhythm as well. Kentucky obviously is doing well, and I think Florida's going to be better. So the SEC, and look, I'm not trolling here, Steve, because I know you like to get rowdy on this, but it's proving to be the best conference in football, especially this year.
Sure.
You can't even argue it. Sure. And I'm not just saying that. I think it is. The ACC isn't really what it is. The Big Ten, it's Ohio State and Michigan, but the SEC this year is thick from top to bottom, in my opinion. And you're gonna go, well, Florida's schedule or Florida's record sucks, but we just went over it. Their losses are to top teams. Like it's not like they're not like a bad 5-4. Right, and I'm not saying like these other conferences aren't that good, but look, if Saban's anywhere else, Saban reigns supreme forever. But the SEC is where everyone wants to be. That's where the greats go to coach. It's either the Big Ten or the SEC right now. That's kind of the two main. Like if you want to go be the man, that's where you're going to go. That's kind of the last step if you're not going to go pro. So all these great coaches are now funneling. That might be
you might have kind of hit the nail on the head. Okay. So let's look at the two most profitable conferences in college football. It's clearly the Big Ten. It's clearly the SEC. And then if you look at the Big 12, it's the Big 12 is only profitable because Texas made their own network. They made their own network as a team. They said, screw the rest of y'all. You're not making any money. Texas by itself, Texas Network made its own team, which, when it transitions to the SEC is going to, all that'll go away. But the Big Ten, before the SEC Network became a thing, the Big Ten Network was a thing. Okay, so let's just look at the Big Ten, the SEC. Let's just go down the list right now of who are in the top 10. All right. So number 1, Georgia, SEC. Number 2, Ohio State, Big Ten. Number 3, Michigan, Big Ten. All right. Number 4, TCU. Flash in the pan, right? They're not going to have the wherewithal to stay. Tennessee, 5. Oregon, Pac-12. They're not going to have the longevity to stay. They're just not going to. LSU, it's 7. South Carolina, USC. Sorry, USC.
Trojans.
8. Yeah. So you have some.
And is Bama 9?
Teams.
Bama's 9, right, or 10?
They're 10th with Ole Miss right behind them at 11. So if you look at this, you're looking at 2 teams that have the majority of the market share within the college football realm of income, which means they're even if you're a crappy team like I don't know, like a Vanderbilt's going to get a shit ton of money just because they're in the SEC, which means that Vanderbilt can keep up potentially maybe with NC State. I'll just throw NC State out there. NC State doesn't have a huge alumni. North Carolina does. But NC State doesn't have a huge alumni. Vanderbilt's a private college. It's essentially the equivalent of Miami. But Vanderbilt's going to always have so much money because of that alliance. So I think what we're looking at is if we want to say that Bama's over, no, it's not over. If we want to look at, say, like how are certain colleges going to have longevity and how are certain ones going to not? I think you really just have to look at the way that the balance of money comes in.
I need to see another year of Bama to determine whether or not the Bama runs over. If they did this again, I'm like, yeah, they got caught up. Everyone's caught up now, and now it's going to come down. Look, because before I always said like the teams would get close to Bama and Saban would pull through with coaching, but now he's trying to coach himself through and be able to keep up with the talent on the other side of the field because it's just that close.
But you can't. Ohio State and Michigan are in the top 6 of college football recruiting right now. Like, so you're not getting ahead of these guys year after year after year. Now Texas A&M
they have been. I mean, Bama's always been ahead of those guys.
But again, they're catching up.
Those guys aren't necessarily much of an impact because they're in the Big Ten, right? But it's the LSUs, the Floridas, the A&Ms, the Georgias. Those guys start creeping up in the top 5, and you've got Georgia, Bama, LSU, Florida, A&M, Tennessee, all in the top 10 of recruiting. Yeah, then it's going to be close. So let's do a hot take really quick on for the college football playoffs. So with that being said, what are our chances? What do we think of? Can we have a 3-team SEC playoff? Could 3 teams from the SEC end up in the playoffs? And I want you to look at it because right now we've got 2 teams. Tennessee is 4, right? Tennessee is 5. Georgia's 1. So, and then you've got LSU 7th, I believe, or something like that. So how it would work is Georgia and LSU play each other in the SEC championship. Okay, LSU beats Georgia. LSU is going to make a heavy bid to be into the playoff at that point. 2 losses, 1 loss being to Tennessee, a blown out to Tennessee. The other being to FSU. But again, we talked about that's that first week type of situation where it doesn't really matter, right? People forget about it. And then you're going to have a Georgia with a 1-loss team to a hot LSU team in the SEC championship. Georgia more than likely stays. So there's your 2 teams. And then you got Tennessee with 1 loss. And so now you got Tennessee with 1 loss. You got Michigan and Ohio State who are going to play one another. One of those teams are going to have 1 loss. Tennessee's schedule looks way more impressive than either one of those teams. So if it's between those 2, you're putting a Tennessee team in, right? So that's 3 spots. That 4th spot goes to TCU. Because who else would go ahead of them?
Nobody. Yeah. So look, you're gonna have a Georgia, Tennessee. Georgia's already in, right? If they go undefeated, then you have Bama and Ole Miss is right behind them. So you get if you get Tennessee in there, that's chaos.
I mean, look, Tennessee's in a weird spot. I talked to our buddy Jack, I think his name is, our neighbor. I can't think of his name right now. Where he was like, look, I talked to him just the other day. He's like, I kind of hope we lose to Georgia because then we don't have to play in the SEC championship. And they're going to be looking at that as like, dang, 1 loss, and the 1 loss is to the SEC champion, and they've had a lot of great wins. How do we not put them in? Because of what's going to happen in front of them, Michigan and Ohio State are going to have to play each other. So one of those teams are going to have losses. You're not going to put a 1-loss Michigan or 1-loss Ohio State over Tennessee. So boom, there goes the bump. Oh, wait a second, but the winner of the Big Ten is going to be in there. So TCU needs to lose. TCU needs to lose for 3 SEC teams to make it, because then you're going to have Ohio State or Michigan, right, being one of those spots, Georgia, and then
So the Big Ten, whoever the Big Ten with Michigan, Ohio State, that's clearly the Michigan Ohio State game. God damn, this is why college football is amazing. The championship game for that conference hasn't been played, but yes, it has. Ohio State and Michigan are number 2, number 3, respectively. And the next possible contender to play them isn't on. They're not on the spectrum at this point. So what do we have? Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. There's nothing from the other side, so it's just going to be clown shoes. So it's just the Michigan.
The winner of that game is going to be your Big Ten champion.
Is in.
Yeah,
is in.
Correct.
And so then you have TCU, who I don't think gets slowed down. So that's 1, 2, 3. I don't know. That's going to be it's going to be fun to see what happens here, but my gosh. And then you have to ask whether or not a Pac-10 can get in. UCLA and Southern Cal, USC is 8 and UCLA is 9.
So the
last game of the year.
The Pac-12 is going to kind of throw a wrench in this too, with Oregon, UCLA, and USC. That is going to the winner. If one of those teams is a 1-loss team coming out of the Pac-12, that's going to put a wrench into a 3-team SEC playoff. Now, I do see an automatic 2 teams from the SEC going in.
Yeah,
because here's what happens, right? Let's say if Tennessee wins out, they're in. I don't see them not being in because a 1-loss Tennessee is better than any of those teams that we just said. They're better than a 1-loss Oregon with the Pac-12. They're better than a 1-loss USC. They've proven to be better. They're better than a 1-loss UCLA, right? So they're going to be ahead of all those guys. They're better than a 1-loss Michigan, Ohio State. So if they win out, they're in. If Georgia wins out, obviously Georgia's going to be in, and it eliminates the entire SEC West. So those 2 teams, in my opinion, are automatically going to be in. Or if Georgia loses,
what if Georgia loses the SEC?
Then you have Georgia. Then Georgia's not gonna get booted out with 1 loss, and then the SEC champion's gonna automatically go in. LSU's gonna easily get in, and you're not gonna put again the same scenario. You're not a 1-loss Georgia team is not worse than any of those teams that I just mentioned. So it's a guarantee there's gonna be 2 teams from the SEC being in the playoffs this year, which just seems to be kind of on par with how the last few years been. The unique situation here is that we could see 3 possibly, which again goes to my point of the SEC is just a powerhouse at the moment. And if they sweep the floor, if we have an all SEC championship, the rest of the teams just need to go away.
What the hell? What are you talking about? This is physically impossible.
How?
Physically impossible.
If you have three make it, how is that physically impossible?
Oh no! Oh, you mean the 2 teams in the championship?
Correct.
Oh, I thought you meant like a 4-team SEC thing. Which
no, a championship like the final game being all SEC.
That's happened like 3 times now, right?
Not since the playoffs. The last time it happened was Bama LSU. The playoffs there hasn't been. Oh, that's not true. Georgia and Bama play every year.
Twice.
Sorry. Georgia and Bama played. Yeah, you're right. But I'm saying like for this to happen again. I mean, I feel like it's been happening obviously, and the only 2 teams that made it. We could see 3. It's going to be fun. It's college football is going to be, they're going to be kind of biting their lips. And this is why I love the fact that we're moving to 12 because it eliminates this. It's going to shift the conversation to the back half of the rankings, right? 15 through 12 through 16. But I feel like 1 through 6 all have a reasonable, reason to be there right now. And that's why I like that 12 teams get to get in because you kind of get some guys that probably shouldn't be there, an opportunity to play in the big times, but the guys that obviously have earned their right are now going to have an automatic bid versus right now they don't have it. So we will see. We will see.
We'll talk about it next week. I can see right now a 12
next week some things are going to change. We'll have a little bit more insight to next week.
A 12 team like a Clemson is 12. You've got some SEC sprinkled in there. You've got some Big Ten in there. You've got some Pac-12 in there. But it just feels like to me, if you're going to do a 12 team a playoff, that any of the Power 5 conference winners, let's just say Clemson wins, even if they're 12, they're locked in. But they're at like a 4, so their seeding comes in. But they have to be locked in because they're in the Power 5 and a conference winner.
Sure. Real quick, we got 3 months from Daniel Riviera says, how about them dogs? And then Rob S says, make it a 30-team playoff so Gators can get in. I totally agree. 9-4, let's go Gators, baby. All right, boys, let's wrap it up here with obviously one of our favorite segments. Steve, why don't you tell them, how did I do last week? Saturday was game day. God. Saturday, my son was born. Good day for the kid. I don't know how I did from a Pick'em's perspective. I was quite busy. But I mean, let me know. I'm sure you're going to tell me now how I did. Look, I don't like to brag. It felt like it was a good week. I could be wrong.
Well, look, I knew you were stressed out. I knew you had a lot going on. So I basically took the loser of every. Is that
matchup. Right? Is that right?
I laid down. I laid down for you. I laid down so that you didn't have to overthink it.
Do I need to pull the tape?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
So
all right.
Shelton went 8-2.
Bam, baby. Bam, baby. Bro, I called Steve, guys, in the middle of a Saturday after just having my kid. And I go, Steve, he goes, yeah. He's like, how's the kid? Like, don't worry about that. I go, I am dialed the fuck in right now, bro. I haven't missed a game, bud. I was like, I don't remember every game, but I haven't missed a game. And he goes, bro, who cares? I'm like, I haven't missed a game.
He was right at that point, and I knew he was right, but I wasn't going to give him that credit.
That puts me at 40-40, ladies and gentlemen. I have hit 500. Here we go, boys. Buckle up. How did you do, Steve?
I was well. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you were 8-2, I was.
Were you 2-8? Oh no, 3-7. Oh no. So
it's just
you are 32. You are 32 and 42. I'm 8 wins ahead of you. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to Pick'ems, though, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor here today, MyBookie. Great sponsorship, great partnership. Make sure you guys use them. You know sports and pick your winners all the time, so why not get paid for them at MyBookie? You go 8-2, like your boy did last Saturday. MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests for all your sports betting needs, anytime, anywhere. Bet on the NFL, NCAA, or swing for the fences with the brand new Money Bag. The MyBookie Money Bag is one-of-a-kind opportunity to spin for crazy odds on props and futures. Just place your bet, spin the wheel, and get ready to score epic odds on the best teams, athletes, and events. Sign up free today using the promo HIGHTOP, okay? And claim deposit match of any amount up to $1,000. So you put $50 in, you get $50 back. You all the way up to $1,000. Easy squeezy, lemon peasy. You're already betting. You're already spending on something. Go get it, baby. Again, that's promo code HIGHTOP to claim your bonus and give yourself the competitive edge. It's not just a sports book, it's a community. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Get it rocking and rolling, boys. Go put them bets down.
Let's get it, baby.
Bama. Travis says Bama effed up his 6-bet parlay. What was the 6-legger? The surgical 6, boys. I love me some surgical 6. So Fly says 8-2. Pumped. Yeah, I'm pumped. That's impressive, right? 8-2 is pretty hot. I mean, that was a big weekend too. Like that was I called the Notre Dame.
One hell of a weekend.
I picked Notre Dame. I lost the 2 that I lost one was Miami, which that was a petty pick, and you even said it was. It was me just poking at you. And the other pick was I was shocked. The Wake Forest one, I was shocked. I picked Wake Forest and they lost. So that one I'll take a true L. The Miami one, if I was betting, I would have took. Honestly, I wouldn't have bet on the game because there's too much emotion involved. If it was like I'm putting money down, I wouldn't even bother with it. Because, again, it was just I know that I would go pick Miami just to piss you off, and it's like, well, that's not – you shouldn't do that. And I wouldn't have touched it. But Wake Forest, that would have been that's a true L. Lost that one. I was shocked.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get this thing kicked off.
Hold on. Daniel says, $2 from Daniel says, remember when y'all said Ugga will lose to Tennessee? Clearly you haven't been on the show in a while, Daniel, because I was very adamant last Wednesday, that the Dogs were going to roll. Okay? I was adamant about it. Because you picked Tennessee. Who picked Georgia? Present.
Well, you picked Georgia first. I took Tennessee
Present.
to stay on the opposite side.
Oh, just take the L. Just take the L. Just take the L like your mom took it last night.
This kicked off. Oh, my gosh. All right, look. We're going to pick our 2 top games here first and foremost.
Okay. Go ahead. Right. She brought the kid in.
So, look, Florida State's ranked.
Got it a little bit. Probably like 10 minutes. We're just getting to the pick'ems. Yeah. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
All right. FSU is ranked. We're back to 25. We are at Syracuse. 8 p.m. in that stupid, weird dome they have. FSU is favored by 6.5.
Wow. Big game for Steve. Guys, Steve's going to be on suicide watch this weekend. I can feel it already. He's running on high for Miami. I am nervous for Steve on this one, boys. 6.5, they're favored in Syracuse?
In Syracuse.
Okay, I want to stay on my hot streak. Look, I believe in FSU, but I think 6 is a lot.
6.5.
Yeah, I got to take Syracuse. And this isn't me trolling. I don't, actually, you know what? I'm going to take FSU. I'm going to take FSU because I think, look, Syracuse, I was kind of impressed, but then they've kind of fallen off a little bit. I think the juice has fallen away. And I think Florida State's finding the rhythm. And I don't think 6.5 is crazy. So I'm taking FSU.
Yeah, I'm taking FSU as well. We are the healthiest that we have been on the defensive line, and Miami can account for it. So let's jump to South Carolina at Florida. 4 p.m. game. Florida is favored by 8.
Go Gators.
Gators, figured.
So, hey, real quick. I've wrote with them.
You're not going to do this fast. I either have to take a 30-second break or we have to do this super fast. I got to pee so fast.
All right, good. I don't think I missed on Florida, but like once this year. No. Keep going. No. Just keep. He's going. All right, he's going. All right, boys. Sorry, he's got to take a pee real quick. Let's see. If FSU beats us, Holly will talk so much trash. Oh, boys, you guys have no idea. if FSU beats, he tries to stay cool. This is what he does. He tries to like be like, oh, like it's okay, like it's fine. But he is emotionally not prepared for the loss, and for the win, he's gonna be a dick. He's gonna be a dick, unfortunately. As I might be too, because now how the season is heating up, I don't know what's gonna happen. Him and I are gonna have to talk offline. And like we gotta figure this out. It's gonna be hard not to, because emotionally we're gonna be so invested that it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Oh, what's going on here? FSU, yeah, FSU. Yeah, I think FSU covers. Okay, so Trav on his surgical six had TCU money line. Okay, Wisconsin money line, UGA money line, Texas money line, South Dakota State money line. It looks like Notre Dame money line. Nice pick, and then Bama money line, 50 to win 640. Damn.
That has never happened before. I actually may need one of Beckett's diapers for this cash.
I love it. All right, let's go. Rock and roll.
All right. So you're taking the Gators. I'll take the Cox. Just to be on the opposite side of the spectrum there. All right. So let's get into we got a Friday night game. Colorado at number 8 USC. 9:30 game on a Friday at USC. USC is favored by 34.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be an obnoxious number. I hate these.
I hate those. It's awful.
I'll take USC though. I think they got if they want any chance or opportunity, they've got to blow some cats out. Colorado's trash. Colorado's like one of the top 5 worst teams in the country. So.
I don't know if I've after an entire year of watching college football, I don't know if I've seen Colorado win a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to follow that. I hate to do it. I like to be on the opposite side of things, but gosh, I just can't. All right, let's see. Saturday, let's go out to the Big Ten. Speaking of massive spreads,
gosh,
I'm not talking about your mom. It's Indiana at number 2, Ohio State. The spread is 41.5.
I'm taking Indiana. That just seems outrageous.
41.5? You would think that an offense could get their shit together enough
to not get
blown out. Yeah.
I'm taking Indiana without a doubt.
I'll take OSU just to be on the opposite side.
We did this last week.
I know. It's fine.
Okay.
I still Ohio State's going to win, but God, 41.
That's a tough one.
Let's go to the SEC. We have number 7 LSU at Arkansas.
Go ahead. Say it.
I'm gonna take LSU. They're rolling right now.
What do you have, Arkansas? What do you have? How many points are they giving Arkansas?
7.
I have 3 on my end.
Oh no, it is 3. Well, okay, we'll go with 7. I still think it doesn't matter, but we could do 3.
Yeah,
it's 3. I thought it was 7. I was saying number 7.
Okay. I'm taking LSU. I was like, it's kind of weird that Arkansas is favored by that. I mean, I know Arkansas was kind of good in the beginning, but I don't know. Not favored, but they're getting 3. LSU, they're only getting 3.
Yeah. That means nothing. This will be an ugly one, right? So
number Mom jokes are resurrecting. Mom jokes never left, boys. They have never left this group. They are relentless in this group. They're
usually a little bit more subtle.
Yeah.
But
we're sending it.
Shelly, you won a game last week by betting on number 19 Liberty at UConn, noon game.
You like that?
Liberty is yeah.
You like that?
You pulled that off. I'm not gonna
my Kirk Cousins. You like that?
How you like that? All right, fair enough. So number 19 Liberty is favored by 14.5 at UConn.
Give me the boys. Give me the libs. Give me the libs.
You going to Libby's?
Yep.
Oh, if I knew anything about UConn, I would care. But it's at UConn, because of the raucous environment. I'm going with Liberty. What's his face? Hugh Freeze is going to be in the SEC again at the end of this year. So, all right. we'll stay out in the boring Big Ten. Somehow Illinois is in the top 25. You also picked up a win from them last week, but Purdue, not the Drew Brees Purdue, is at Illinois. Illinois is favored by 6.5.
Give me Illinois.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's an Indian name.
I feel like I'm like a little nervous coming off of 8-2. I got to follow that up. You can't goose egg it.
Oh, now there's pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, look, another team that got you a W last week, Notre Dame, number 20. Number 20 Notre Dame is going at Navy. There is no at Navy. Whatever. They have a whatever. Notre Dame is favored by 17 away.
I think Notre Dame has found their little run here. I think the boys get hot. You beat Syracuse, then Clemson back to back like that. The team's rolling, and they rolled Clemson. It's showtime for the boys.
Look, hey, we just on this cast a few weeks ago, we were talking about whether or not their head coach was
on the hot seat.
What level of hot seat?
Talk about locking it in. He heard us.
You're clearly watching High Top.
Yeah.
Clearly. All right, so let's get back down to the ACC. We have Louisville at number 12, Clemson at Clemson. Clemson is favored by 7.5. It's a 3:30 kick. No night game at Clemson.
Clemson just fell off the mat, bro. What time is the kickoff?
3:30. A night game at Clemson is hard to win in.
I'm taking Clemson. 7? Yeah, I'll take Clemson.
God, coming off a loss, they're just going to have to prove something.
It's like that. It's when Bama played Mississippi State after losing. It's the same. It's not going to be fun.
And for some odd reason, poor Mississippi State has always been the team that they had to play after they lost. Like, no, come on. Like, just win the game before us. I'm going to take Clemson as well. I can't keep taking the opposite side of the spectrum, just hoping to be dynamic. Now, look. We might be looking at we said this last week. We might be looking at another one of the top matchups in the SEC. Number 10, Alabama. Going to Ole Miss. Number 11. A 3:30 CBS game. You're going to get all the Gary Daniels and all the CBS like beautifulness that comes with college football. Alabama going to Ole Miss. Alabama is favored by 12.5.
What do you got?
I'm going to take Ole Miss.
Give me the Huddy Tutties. Give me the Huddy Tutties to get it done. The end of Bama is here, boys. This could be it. It could end now. The lane train is all aboard, baby.
If he gets this win, because he did it to him before. Feed him? Yeah, with Alabama. He just got under the skin. All right, where are we at here?
The UCF Tulane matchup, boys.
I've got right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, you are. I don't even have the Tulane game on here. Hold on, I might. Next up, we're going to the game that nobody will watch, but there's a huge spread, so it may make it fun. I've got Nebraska at number 3, Michigan. They're actually doing something other than a noon kickoff. Michigan at Michigan, 3:30. Michigan is favored by 29. I hate these games.
Give me Nebraska.
You taking the Brasks? They have honestly looked better since they made a change. I'll take Michigan. Every time I've picked against Michigan,
that's a tough one
to not cover a spread. They've made me look like a pair of clown shoes. So, another game that nobody gives a crap about in the Big Ten: Maryland at Penn State. Another 3:30 kickoff. I don't know how this is happening on a regular basis, but Maryland at Penn State. Penn State favored by 12. 3:30. I'll jump in on this one. You jumped on the last one. I'll take Penn State to win and cover.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. I think Penn State needs to find back their groove and get things done. So I'm taking Penn State as well.
All right, deal. I don't.
Let's do the UCF and Tulane since you don't have it. I've got UCF 23 at 17. Tulane. Tulane's favored by 1.5.
UCF and Tulane. Where is it?
It's at Tulane.
It's a raucous environment. I'll take UCF.
I'll take the Waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Tidal Waves.
The Green Wave?
I'll pick the Green Wave.
All right, Tulane. All right, so where did I leave off? God, after what we went through last weekend with these picks, these are difficult. These are difficult.
Let's just do 3 more. Let's do TCU Tech. Let's do TCU, Texas, Washington, and Oregon, and then we'll call
TCU.
it there.
TCU Tech. All right, so we have number 4 TCU at Texas, 7:30 game. That's an 8:30 game for everybody over here on the East Coast. Because let's be honest, why would you live in the West Coast or in the Central? So number 4 at number 18. However, Texas is favored by 7 in a night game. Who you got, Shelly?
That's gonna be an incredible game. I don't know why I'm so dark all of a sudden. 2 weeks ago, I was a Hook'ems all day. I was a Quinn Ewers boy. The mullet was flowing. I was Sarkeesian, born and bred. Mm-hmm. The Horned Frogs have looked good. Okay, the purple looks stunning out there on the field, and I gotta go Hook'ems, boys. The mullet never dies, baby. The mullet never dies.
Golly. Isn't that the same like logo, the same hand motion that Texas makes? Look, I like Sarkeesian.
That's what I picked. I picked Texas. That's what I had to hook them.
Oh, I thought, but you put it on your head, so I thought that was like
that's the horns. That's fair. Fair enough. All
right, so you're taking Texas. Look, you find me somebody who can slow TCU down. There's a reason they're number 4. I understand it's at Texas. I don't care. I'm taking TCU.
This is an emotional pick for me.
Is it?
A little bit.
You bought in for Texas all year?
Yeah, but it is what it is.
All right, so then I've got
Oregon and
Washington, Oregon. Yeah. So we have number 24, Washington. Let's go out to so this is our sleepy time game. This is a game that I tell everybody.
No, it's at 7.
That's
7.
Game. Yeah.
That's not sleepy time. That's 7.
7 p.m. Oh.
Yeah. Right.
So that's like a 3:30 game for us.
No, it's 7 our time.
3:30 game for them.
Yes.
This is like their version of a 3:30 game. Yes. All right. So we have number 24, Washington at number 6, Oregon. Oregon they have been through the ringer this year. Can we at least give Oregon a little credit for one hell of a football season? Between they've played BYU, they have played one hell
Georgia,
of a football
BYU,
schedule.
UCLA, Washington. I mean, Washington State's okay, but yeah, they played a hell of a schedule.
You see what I mean?
Now Washington,
they just keep giving us. Yeah,
they play
Washington's
Utah.
Number 24.
They play Utah next week. Yeah, and they could play.
Hey. We give the Pac-12 a hard time all the time.
Tough
for
schedule.
Not playing
Tough
a schedule. Yeah, but that's a hell of a schedule for Oregon. All right, who do you got?
I gotta take Bo Nix and the boys. I think they gotta go out there and handle biz. So I'm taking the boys.
All right, so you're taking the Oregonians. Look, I don't hate the pick. I do think that Oregon wins. Nix has played his ass off this year, but I'll go with. I'll go with the visitors to keep it close.
They're gonna cover.
I'll take that.
Taking the points.
Yeah, I'll take the points.
Boys and girls, bring me the golden nugget. The man's here, boys. Beckett Tiger Walker. Look at that kid. You can't teach that, boys. Okay? I make some sexy babies. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen,
you
thank
have
you.
one sexy baby. You don't know if you make sexy babies. You made a good one.
Yeah. 1 for 1. That's all that matters. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, thank you guys as always for stopping by, hanging out. Appreciate the guys that donated and showed your love and support. We'll see you Saturday for the watch party. Beckett's gonna get buck nasty. He might throw back a few boozies, might get butt naked. Who knows? We'll see. Thank you guys for love and support and for showing Beckett Tiger some love. You'll see this man in the Masters one day. Until next time, boys and girls, I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Holly.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Hi, guys.
Do what you think is right, and see life through and why. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. I feel